You know this Trump train don't stop. Tell Beto to please come try to take my Glock. You wanna impeach him?
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Running into some technical difficulties this morning. Welcome back to Straight Talk with Isaiah Ascher, where we break through the noise and focus on what really matters here: faith, family, the truth, community, and the future of our country. First off, just want to start by saying thank you. Our audience is growing. It's because of you guys who are tuning in, watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. So right now, if you haven't yet, go ahead, like this video, subscribe for more content in the future. I really appreciate the support, and I hope that one day this can be my full-time job. So keep sharing this with your friends. I want to continue to help this show grow to reach as many people as possible, because I know that Americans want the truth. They want straight talk, no filter. And that's what I hope to bring here with Straight Talk with Isaiah Ascher, is the truth unfiltered. And then together we're going to make sure that these folks get it by coming together as a community. Well, today we're going to be talking about law and order, what the government's real priorities are, except the American people, of course, and why communities like mine here in Missouri are leading the way for looking forward to what the future holds. So, let's get started. All right, to kick things off here in small town Missouri, we don't wait for politicians to remember that we exist. When our SNAP benefits are delayed, cut off, these families, they don't stop needing groceries. They still need food to survive. And I know what you're thinking. Like I said last week, there's plenty of people who milk these benefits who don't exactly use them properly, and I understand that. I'm not saying that everyone uses the free government help properly. I think that the problem with the system is that it's set up to be exploited, and I think that there's ways that we need to set up safeguards around these benefits to actually give the benefits to those who need them. Besides that point, what I am really proud of is the way that my community here in small town Missouri has stepped up. Local grocery stores here in town are collecting food donations. And so I just want to be able to pull up here. If we throw to the screen, we can see here in small town Missouri, sorry for that weird screen change there, but we can see here that this is the owner of our local Save-A-Lot here in the small town that I live in. He says, here's what we're going to do. Here's what Save-A-Lot's going to do. I will set up bins at the front of the store starting tomorrow for donations from customers, non-perishables, please. We will take the receipts from the donations and add them up, and then give 10% via gift cards to the organizations that take the groceries to purchase more of what they need. That's amazing. Please keep donation transactions separate from personal transactions, as I will donate 10% back on these. We will keep this going as long as funding is not met for SNAP benefits. This is what showing up for your community looks like. Putting it out there, saying, hey, we're not going to rely on the government to help us out. We're going to help our own community out. This is to help those who are impacted by the Schumer shutdown. This is a Democratic shutdown. They are the ones responsible, voting 13 times now against the continuing resolution. And instead, we've got churches feeding families. We've got neighbors helping neighbors. With these folks, there's no cameras like the politicians. There's no press releases that are going out. These are people, just people doing the right thing for their community. And that's what America's all about. That's what America looks like at its best. And at its best, speaking of America at its best, this past week, I was able to get a chance to speak with one of the candidates for U.S. Congress here for my district, Mo 2, District 2 in Missouri. His name's Ryan Sheridan. He is a nurse practitioner here in Missouri who also has a background in real estate development. He's a man who wants to serve the people. He doesn't want to perform for the people. He wants to serve them. He is an American first patriot, a true American first patriot, who wants to put the American people above any special interest groups, any foreign militaries, or anything like that, where we tend to put their priorities above the American people. He's running on a MAHA, Make America Healthy Again agenda. And we do hope to have him on the show in the future. And as I said before, we hope to bring guests onto the podcast here in the near future. Our goal is to get some episodes produced, get them out to the public, and then start to reach out to guests to have them on the show so that we can have interviews. We can hear from the community. We can hear from community leaders as well to get their input on these subject matters. So right now I want to actually jump on over to a quick clip from Ryan here. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. This is the joy of producing your own show. So here we go.
Ryan Sheridan, and he joins the crew now live on Facebook, Rumble, X, Instagram. You can see what this guy looks like. Good looking dude. Ryan, what's going on, man? How are you?
Wow.
I'm doing very well.
That's good. You and I have met. Well, you've been on Real Talk before. You were with Rob Carter for a little bit. And then you've been on Smash's program. And in fact, you're going to be on Smash's program again this upcoming Sunday night at 7 p.m. So that's awesome.
Oh,
So
that's right, my man. Hey,
Yes,
good
sir.
to see you. Hey, what's happening?
Smash is here too. So give us your background. You know, what do you do? Why are you in this fight now? I guess to take down Ann Wagner, because she again is MIA.
Sure. Yeah. Drew, first, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm a Kirkwood resident, born and raised. Most of my life lived here. I am a nurse practitioner. I have a private practice in the St. Louis area and beyond. Real estate development as well. Went to Mizzou, went to Missouri State for my final degree, a doctorate in nurse practitioner. Really, why I'm doing this is because, as you mentioned, current representative is MIA, but it's more important than that. I mean, this race is important not just to the party, but to the country. It's existential. The direction of the Republican Party, determining what America First means now and for the future, and cementing what that means for the future generations. If we do not pay attention to what the canaries in the coal mine are saying about the middle class in this country, particularly younger generations, not only is the Republican Party in a pickle, but the country itself is in deep trouble.
A Missouri First conservative, and here we now have a government shutdown. Also, what's your take on this shutdown? You know, what would your role be in this? 'Cause I've seen you've been adamant and pretty outspoken on socials about it.
Yeah. You know, as much as I wouldn't like Republicans to have some responsibility here, because the Democrats obviously shut it down, it is their fault too. And that it has been since the passing of Obamacare that Republicans have gotten caught with their pants down multiple times on healthcare. We did it in 2017 when Donald Trump first became president. They did not have a plan in place. And here we are again, you know, 7, 8 years later, and we still don't have a plan. I mean, how can Republicans be so incompetent at this? We could have a plan. We should have a plan in place for replacing or at least fixing Obamacare, and we give Democrats the opportunity to win because we get caught with our pants down, and they can use it as leverage multiple times in a row. I mean, this has been happening for years, so they have some culpability here.
We're talking to Ryan Sheridan. He's running for Congress, trying to take down Ann Wagner. You can see his platform, SheridanForMo.com. That's SheridanForMO.com.
There you have it, people. That is Ryan Sheridan running for the Missouri 2nd District Congress, trying to take down Ann Wagner, Wall Street and Wagner, that is, as you heard him say there. Some of the problems with the current Congresswoman is that she's MIA. And I can tell you this firsthand as being someone who has started getting involved in local politics, that one of the things that I unfortunately hear about our Congresswoman is that she is MIA. And I don't like to badmouth and don't like to talk bad about people. I want to keep this a more positive show, even though we want to call out the truth and be unfiltered. I do want to say, I don't want to bash her. However, I do want to call out the truth that she is MIA, that she does not do town halls. She doesn't reach out to local leaders to have conversations with them. I can tell you that from my personal experience that Ryan Sheridan does do that. He reached out to me. He saw my activity on X and sent me a message, and we started chatting back and forth. We got each other's phone numbers, started texting each other, and we set up a time to have coffee and chat and hear about each other's campaigns. Because as you all know, I'm running for a local alderman or city council here in my small town in Missouri. And so I'm in his district, and so we were looking for synergy. How can we help support each other? And after hearing all of the amazing things that Ryan is putting forth, I want to help support his agenda. I love President Trump and I love the Republican Party. I am a registered Republican, but I also agree with Ryan that we can't be caught with our pants down as Republicans. We need to look for solutions for the people, because as much as we are not fans of government help, and I agree in true individualism, we have to also be compassionate. I have a book sitting right here next to me, actually, that I've been going through again, The Conscience of a Conservative, right? And Barry Goldwater himself, in this manifesto of conservatism, says that we must be conservatives with compassion. We have to have a heart. We can't just look past the true things that are happening around the world. And people need healthcare. People need help with affordable healthcare. It is because of the Democrats that the healthcare is out of control, but that doesn't mean that we need to just point our fingers and blame the Democrats. We need to put some real solutions on the table. Well, there you have it, folks. That is Ryan Sheridan, like we talked about. If you live in District 2 in Missouri, be sure to vote for Ryan next August. We'll be sure to keep you up to date with the upcoming election dates here in Missouri and national election dates as we get closer to national elections here. We have some coming up in November, on November 4th, in some states, some off-year elections, as Scott Pressler likes to put it. But if you are a Republican, get out to vote. There is no off year when it comes to an election. Well, now it's time to take a quick break, so stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Do you have a tight circle of friends and family members? The real ones, the kind of people who have been there since day one? Well, that's what Day One's gear is all about. It's more than just clean gear. It's a way to rep the ones who have had your back from the start. The ride or dies. The people who have never switched up. Day One's is for the loyal ones, built with premium materials, bold graphics, and that no-quit mindset. So if you're about loyalty, legacy, and showing love to your Day Ones, head on over to dayones.shop. That's day1z.shop. Day, the number one, z.shop. Go support them for supporting us. Day Ones.
All right, welcome back to Straight Talk. Thank you so much for staying tuned in. If you haven't yet, go ahead and share this video with someone, and subscribe here. And be sure to turn on your notifications so you get notified every time we drop a video or when we go live. Also, join our X community, the Faithful Front, trying to build a community of true patriots there so that you can stay up to date all week long and stay locked in with the show. Well, as you know, every family deserves to feel safe, and enforcing the law, well, it shouldn't be controversial. It should be clear. It should be very clear. Well, Portland finally cleared a major Antifa encampment, a little late in my opinion, but it's necessary to get that cleared out. And I'm glad that they finally did this. They finally came to their senses and went ahead and cleared out this camp. So without further ado, I want to jump on over to X to show you kind of the aftermath of what has been happening in Portland with the action with the Antifa riots. Here is a true patriot, Nick Shirley, on the ground there in Portland, reporting live on what's going on. Let's check this out.
Antifa in Portland has lost their battle. You have absolutely nobody outside the ICE building right now. Their encampment has been completely shut down. You do not see a single member of Antifa, as the police actually came in today and said they cannot no longer be here. It looks like a hoarder's house here, but you have quite literally everything from bucket full of medicine, toothpaste, floss. You have food right here. You have all sorts of medical gear as well. They had
Ridiculous.
boxes full of masks, and they had a load supply of water. They had all of their supplies and party supplies
All free,
in
of
here.
course.
And they even had things
Socialists.
such as fridges, and they even had a barbecue here as well. So this is the end of Antifa for right now. It's been completely dismantled. Here is the barbecue they had right here. Absolutely is gone. Antifa no longer here on the streets of Portland. It's like the Patriots, the pro-Trump people came in here and outnumbered them for the first time in a long time. This could be the downfall of Antifa here in Portland, Oregon.
Well, there you have it, folks. The downfall of Antifa in Portland, Oregon. That is a true patriot there, Nick Shirley. If you're not already following him, excuse me, highly recommend that you check his YouTube channel out. Check him out on X. He is a boots on the ground reporter who does not shy away from the extremists, the violent extremists there, Antifa, the domestic terrorist organization, as they've been declared recently. And, you know, Portland isn't the only town to see. Whoops, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Like I said, the joy of producing your own show. And Portland isn't the only city to see the action. We have ICE and National Guard deployed to different cities across the nation. Earlier this week, we saw the outrage from the left-wing lunatics, the Democrats, because of a lady who was pushed to the ground in Chicago. We saw many Democrats, and maybe I'll throw up some posts here in post-production that you can see. I don't have any pulled up live, but Democrats reacting saying, "Oh my gosh, look at this terrible ICE pushing this lady down. Oh my goodness," crying like little babies. As soon as you see this full clip, you'll see the truth get exposed. That's what this show is all about, exposing the truth, an unfiltered opinion. Straight talk. So let's go ahead, throw it over to the screen here, and let's just watch what happens here, and you tell me what you think. Did this woman assault this ICE agent? Let's check it out.
And I'm gonna throw it right back at you. I'm gonna throw it right back at you. I'm gonna throw it right back at you, I swear to God. And I'm gonna throw it right back at you. I'm gonna throw it right back at you. I'm gonna throw it right back at you, I swear to God. And I'm gonna throw it right back at you. I'm gonna throw it right back at you.
Watch.
I'm gonna throw it right back at you, I swear to
See,
God.
she grabs her.
And I'm gonna
She grabs
throw
him,
it right back at you. I'm gonna throw it right back at you. I'm gonna throw it right back at you.
Grabs him right there. Tries to unmask him.
And I'm gonna throw it right back at you.
So I know we watched it a few times here, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone could get a clear picture of what happened there. The assault on the ICE agent that happened from that lady. She is physically assaulting him. You cannot grab someone, Something that the left-wing lunatics have forgotten is that we live in a free nation. This is America. You can't just go up to someone and touch them. You can't grab their face mask off their face. You can't grab a hat off someone's head, no matter how much you dislike it. And it outrages me. It's appalling that these Democrats would say it's the ICE agent who's in the wrong here. Because you cannot assault law enforcement, federal or local law enforcement, and not expect any repercussions. Just want to put that out there for anyone who's listening. If you assault a law enforcement agent, there will be repercussions. You'll either be pushed back, you'll be arrested or detained, and worse, you might be prosecuted and sent to jail or prison for years. And I don't think anyone wants that. So, yes, you have a right to free speech and you're allowed to protest. Absolutely. I'm not against these folks protesting against the ICE agents. That is what we stand up for as conservatives, is the right to free speech, the right to the First Amendment. They absolutely can record them in their course of duty. That is the law. They can express loudly and with words, with curse words, because those are protected under free speech by the Supreme Court. They can express all those things, but they cannot physically assault the agents. Well, not only in Chicago, but there's states across the nation, cities across the nation that are not allowing and refusing to work with these folks. And so I have a clip here pulled up from Secretary Noem that we can take a look at together, where she's talking about the success of the DHS and how there are liberal, left-wing leadership in cities that are not letting them come in and protect the citizens. Let's go ahead and take a look at this clip.
Been arrested and removed have had crimes and charges against them such as murder, assaults, homicides, robberies, carjackings, and shootings. And all of those numbers in this community in Minneapolis and St. Paul, those numbers have only gone up since 2019. Under the leadership of Mayor Frey, under the leadership of Governor Walz, more violent crimes are being perpetuated in these communities because of their refusal to defend American citizens. Regardless, our federal officers, our ICE officers, ERO, HSI, in partnership with our Department of Justice agencies and other individuals throughout the federal government, we will continue to do the work to make sure that these criminals are removed from our communities. I want you to look at these posters that we have up here at the front of the room. One of the individuals, his last name is Munoz. He's from Mexico, and he was brought in and arrested for charges of homicide. Another one is Hernandez Rivieras from El Salvador. The charges against him are human slavery and trafficking of individuals in this country. Garcia's in front of us as well. His last name is Garcia Oliver from Mexico. He's been wanted and charged with sexual assault. And then another individual in front of us on these posters in front of us is Gonzalez Rivas. He's from El Salvador and is wanted for assault. These individuals have been arrested because of these individual law enforcement officers in our community and will be brought to justice and deported from our country, never to return.
Well, there you have it. We have liberal, left-wing leadership. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, trying to push back against the government, trying to push back against the detaining of illegal criminals. It's just ridiculous, in my opinion. Not only in Minneapolis, but this past week, President Trump started to deploy troops, as we saw, to Chicago there, to Portland, and he announced he was going to deploy the National Guard to the city of San Francisco. However, when he is about to send the National Guard, we have all these business leaders saying, hey, we can do this. We can get the streets cleaned up on our own. We don't need the National Guard. So you're telling me that you guys could have cleaned up the streets the whole time? Just like when China's president was here, President Xi, all of a sudden you've got it under control? Give me a break. This crisis is real in San Francisco. I can tell you from personal experience. I lived in San Francisco. And while I was living in San Francisco, a coworker of mine was held up at gunpoint and robbed. This is in 2015. This is 10 years ago when that's happening. The tent cities were starting to develop, and they're out of control now. Even in Seattle, where I have gone for work many times, there's tent cities. It's ridiculous. This crisis is real, and the people on the ground in San Francisco and other cities, they need our help. Meanwhile, in California, the funny thing is that while they're trying to push back on sending the National Guard in to clean up the streets and to push back on illegal immigration, we have the state of California granting CDL these are truck licenses, 18-wheelers, to individuals who are not here legally. I got a couple posts here that we're going to go through on X just to commentate on this ridiculous idea that illegals should have a license to drive a big truck like that, because essentially an 18-wheeler is a weapon on wheels. And I'm not saying that these illegal immigrants are purposefully targeting folks, but through their lack of training, their lack of the ability to read English, so they cannot read our signs on the roads, they are cheating tests. They're taking cameras in and putting them in their shirts and getting help so that they can pass these tests without the true knowledge that they need to pass the test. I'm getting worked up. I'm getting fired up. Before I get too fired up, let's go ahead and take a look at this clip. This is from Fox News.
A federal audit found California had issued 62,000 CDLs, drivers who entered illegally, John, or do not have a permanent legal status as required by the feds. California sanctuary laws prohibit asking applicants their immigration status. Governor Newsom said there's not a problem. Back to you.
Did I hear you right? Did you say 62,000?
That's correct.
Oh my goodness.
It's a federal audit.
William Lajeunesse for us. William, thank you so much. Let's bring in the...
A federal audit found California
ridiculous.
had 62,000 CDLs, drivers who entered illegally, John, or do not...
62,000 drivers who entered illegally. It's not 60, not 600, not even 6,000. 62,000 illegal immigrants have been issued CDL licenses. It's unreal. Here we have another clip from Fox News about the funding getting yanked from California. This is a post that I wrote up. Trump's team yanking $160 million from Newsom's California over CDLs for illegals. May strip states' issuing rights. So not only are they going to strip funding, but they might even strip the rights to issue CDL licenses from the state of California. Let's go ahead and check out this clip from Fox News.
Gavin Newsom has thumbed his nose at us. He's refused to comply with the rules that have come from DOT, which is stop issuing these licenses, number one. And number two, go back and review all the licenses that you have issued and make sure it's been done legally. Gavin Newsom has said no. So one, I'm about to pull $160 million from California. And as we pull more money, we also have the option of pulling California's ability to issue commercial driver's licenses. Gavin Newsom cares more about illegals getting commercial driver's licenses than he does the citizens of his own state and the safety of Americans. It's shameful. He's been lying about what he's been doing. And again, we're gonna fight tooth and nail under President Trump's administration to make sure that we hold states like California accountable. Gavin Newsom has thumbed his nose at us.
Well, there you have it. $160 million yanked from the state of California, and they're trying to strip them of being able to issue those licenses because Gavin Newsom cares more about illegal immigrants. Listen closely. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, cares more about illegal immigrants receiving a license than he cares about the American people's safety. If you don't believe me, I wanted to pull up some other posts here because I'm not sure if everyone's been in the know about this, but just this past week, in the news, 2 major crashes from illegal immigrants. Kind of ridiculous, but let's go ahead and check out this clip and this post about one of these illegal immigrants. Here we go. This post from the real Kalal, a MAGA patriot. The California semi-truck driver who caused several deaths and had a CDL as a 21-year-old illegal from India. Confirmed name, Jashanpreet Singh. The victim's family should sue Gavin Newsom. Love that. He allows this to happen, giving illegals CDLs. He should be held accountable as well. This is very saddening. Sad. Sending condolences to the family who lost a loved one in this tragic tragedy. Americans need to start holding states and governors accountable. And as you can see here, this is the aftermath of the crash. It's unreal. 6 innocent people dead because this illegal immigrant right here, because Gavin Newsom cared more about this guy than he cared about the American people. Now, I'm not one who gets fired up, who gets loud or screams, but I just want to drive this home that American citizens come first, not anyone else. I believe in legal migration. I do not believe in illegal immigration. There is nothing compassionate about endangering the lives of American people on the highway. Nothing. This is reckless policy, and it has its consequences. And we've already seen these consequences here with this man. Multiple Americans have been killed, not just in this crash, but just a couple days ago. An illegal immigrant from Mexico who was under the influence, crashed straight into traffic that was stopped on the highway. This is ridiculous. I mean, does India want me to come over there and start driving their buses or their trucks around? I don't think so. And if we did that, you better believe we would be getting deported. You better believe it. Again, legal migration only. Speaking of other countries, speaking of India, speaking of Mexico, did you know that on average, the United States of America sends out $70 billion with a B in aid to foreign countries? And do you want to take a guess on how much aid from those foreign countries the U.S. gets? How much the American citizens get? That's right. 0. Zilch. Nada. Nothing. They send us nothing. We get nothing in return. I was curious about this past week, and so I'll go ahead and throw to the screen here because I pulled up ChatGPT. I was just sitting there curious about foreign aid. I'll go ahead and pull this up. There we go. I was very curious. I said, "Hey, Chat, just give me a simple answer. I only want 2 sets of numbers. The first number I want is the amount of foreign aid the U.S. gives out each year on average for the past 10 years. And then the second number I want is how much foreign aid has the United States received in the last 10 years? And it broke it down for me. I was appalled because I figured that we had to be getting something out of this. I was naive in believing this. I will be the first to admit that. I have no problem admitting that. I was naive. We give out $70 billion. And you can see here in 71.9, $72 billion in fiscal year 2023. And the foreign aid received by U.S. in the last 10 years is $0. We receive nothing. This is putting America last, not America first. Washington always says, we're out of money. We're out of money. We got to tighten our belts. We can't afford this. But somehow all these foreign governments, they never have to wait for a single check. They never have to wait for a single missile, a single tank, whatever we're sending them. Billions of dollars overseas. While Americans they're told to hold on tight, just wait, the government will open, we'll be back. And we send billions of dollars overseas. That is not compassion. I went ahead and pulled up this foreignassistance.gov because I thought it'd be super interesting to take a look at here. Man, this is really delayed. There we go. In the foreign assistance, where I would highly recommend each and every one of you patriots who are watching this, go to foreignassistance.gov. Check out this map for yourself. This is something that I did for myself, and I know that we all need to research on our own. Something that I believe in is that to be a learn-it-all, don't be a know-it-all. We don't know everything. It's okay to be humble. It's good to be humble. The Bible tells us to be humble. Jesus was humble. He is the best version and example of humility, and is who we should strive to be, who we should strive to look like is Jesus. And so through trying to be a learn-it-all, I went ahead and I looked at this, and it is ridiculous. One, it's a density map, so you can see the darker the color, the more money we're sending. So here's the Congo, 1.5 billion. South Africa, $500 million. Ukraine, look at that number. $21 million obligated. We zoom in here to the Middle East. We've got 6 billion. Wait, so 21 billion. Oh my gosh, I read that number wrong. $21 billion to Ukraine. 6 billion to Israel, which these, in a sense, make sense, I'll say, with quotes, because of the wars that are going on there. However, when we are shutting down our government, when people are going hungry because they can't receive the benefits to help them eat, put food on the table, I don't see why we're sending out these billions of dollars. Just between Israel and Ukraine alone, that is $28 billion that's sent out. It's unreal. Afghanistan, $750 million to Afghanistan. So we're sending money to the country that we declared war against, that the Bush administration, that makes complete sense. And look at this. Countries that are invading us, India, just like we talked about, that Indian driver. We're sending them $165 million while their people are coming to America and killing our American citizens. It's ridiculous. And you can see the same thing over here. Just to zoom out, be easier. To Mexico, right? $250 million sent to Mexico, who's sending illegal immigrants over our border constantly, day and night. Well, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I just wanted to show you that the neglect on the American people and how we are putting Americans last. We are not putting America first through this type of ridiculous, frivolous spending, frivolous money going to Ukraine, Israel, Mexico, other countries. And hear me, I am not an anti-Semite. My family's actually Jewish. And I completely support the people of Israel to have their own country. And I support Israel, the right of Israel to exist. However, I'm an American citizen. I'm not a citizen of Israel. Now, as a Jewish person, yes, I could get citizenship to Israel. And I think that is part of the issue. Where it stems from is the Jewish community, some parts of the Jewish community, not as a whole. Again, blanket statements are wrong. Not all Jewish people are like this. You're sitting looking at one right now who tells you that America needs to come first because I'm an American citizen. My family lives in America. The American policies govern my life. And so we need to put the American people first. We need to put the country of America first above any other country, especially when it comes to the budget of the American people that are tax dollars that you're taking from the American people. You need to put America first. Well, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. Stay locked in right there, and we'll be right back.
You got aches, pains, or just feel a little out of alignment lately? Well, St. Clair, things are looking up for you because Divine Spine Chiropractic has officially opened their doors right here in town at 70 North Main Street. Dr. Bella is now seeing patients in the brand new office, offering gentle, modern chiropractic care that's focused on healing your whole body. Without the snap, crackle, and pop methodology, she subscribes to something called the zone technique. So whether you're dealing with back pain, neck tension, headaches, or you just want to feel your best, Divine Spine Chiropractic is here to help you move and live better. So stop living with discomfort. Book your appointment now with Divine Spine Chiropractic today and give your spine the attention it deserves. That's Dr. Bella at Divine Spine Chiropractic, now open at 70 North Main Street in St. Clair, Missouri. Go ahead and book an appointment now. Your back will thank you. Divine Spine Chiropractic, where healing begins with alignment.
All right, welcome back into Straight Talk with Isaiah Ascher. Thank you for staying tuned after that commercial break. Let's jump right back in here to the American people, America First agenda here on this show. Because when America leads with strength, the world is safer. We don't need to give out billions of dollars to make the world safer. We just need to lead with strength, peace through strength. As the Trump administration says, peace through strength works. It's a long-standing principle that our enemies clearly understand because we are the strongest nation in the world. And when we have this peace, we can unleash the full strength of American energy. We can create policies. We can work with foreign governments to make deals that help the American people, that help American families right where they need to feel it, or where they feel it the most, in their wallets. And this past week, we had a huge announcement from the White House, is that we were able to see how President Trump is driving down the cost of gasoline. The cost of barrels of oil are going down, and we are now seeing the price of gas follow. So we can see here, throw up on the screen here, a post from the White House. Here on X, thanks to President Trump's unleashing of American energy, as I just said, the national average gas price drops below $3 for the first time in over 4 years. That's right, 4 years. The entire presidency of the autopen president, Joe Biden. Promises made, promises kept from the president of the American people. The national average for gas has fallen below $3, and I can tell you that is 100% true here in Missouri. We are below $3, and my wife and I are ecstatic as we're saving tons of money on gas, driving back and forth to the city. It's about a 45-minute drive one way for us, where we head into the city, and so this impacts us greatly, as it does other American families. And this is why leading with diplomacy, and peace is the way to go. Peace through strength, not wars. That's why I'm a big fan of President Trump. He doesn't want to make wars, he wants to stop wars. Speaking of these gas prices, I wanted to pull up a clip from the Patriot Oasis to talk about this here.
Prices are getting lower. Woof, we love to hear that. AAA says the
do.
current national average price for a gallon of regular gasoline could reach the $3 mark for the first time in 4 years. In the past week, the average has dropped more than 5 cents a gallon to $3.05. The travel agency says several factors are behind this drop. That includes lower demand, falling crude oil prices, and a cheaper winter blend gas at the pump. Also, hurricane season has not impacted oil refineries or drilling along the Gulf. Prices are getting lower. Woof, we love to hear that.
We see all these people filling up at the gas tank because of how cheap the gas is, thanks to President Trump. Thank you, sir, for creating those deals that help drive down the cost of gas. And I know a lot of people here listening to the show, I've had haters comment on different things about how I support President Trump, and I will tell you that I 100% wholeheartedly support President Trump.
But yet, I'm not afraid to speak my mind.
But that doesn't mean I agree with everything that he does.
From another country,
something that he's done recently that I do not agree with is something that's personally bothered me because it's actually affected
we're able
Missouri families here, Missouri farmers.
to make a few dollars right now.
That is
and break
the
even.
deal with Argentina to import beef.
Import
Why
more beef
are we doing this?
from
Why are we importing
Argentina
beef from Argentina?
It's going to do nothing but hurt.
Seriously, why?
us.
I don't understand it because
That's going to make the cows
one of the
cheap.
5 pillars of the MAGA
However,
agenda is America first. And if
when
we're supposed to be
cattle
America
go
first, why are
down
we importing a
on the
product
market,
that we have
guess
here in
what?
America? Isn't that why we're
Our
building these
farm
factories and
supplies
things
are
like that?
still
We have
high.
farmers producing beef right here
Parts
who
for
need
the tractors
the business.
are still
I'll
high.
always
They're not
stand with
coming down.
these Missouri farmers. They feed
So
America.
President
They
Trump,
deserve
we are
protection
asking
from
you,
these harmful
as
policies.
farmers of America,
And right now I
not
have
to
a
do
clip
this.
pulled up over
I'm
here
one of
that
the
I want
biggest
to
supporters of President
check
Trump.
out. Let's
But
go
yet,
ahead
I'm
and-
not afraid to speak my mind.
Oh,
Importing beef.
this has been playing the whole time. Apologies. Again, the beauty of producing your own podcast is that I have these technical difficulties all the time. So continue to watch and support me so that we can get to a point where we can start getting some ad revenue and get some support so we can bring in some money to upgrade our setup, to pay some people to produce the show. We might even start with some volunteers. So appreciate your support. And if you haven't yet, like, subscribe, share this with someone. Let's go ahead and throw this over to X and watch this clip.
The tractors. I'm one of the biggest supporters of President Trump, but yet I'm not afraid to speak my mind. Importing beef from another country does nothing but hurt the American farmers. We're able to make a few dollars right now and break even, but let me tell you something. Importing more beef from Argentina is going to do nothing but hurt us. That's going to make the cows cheaper. However, when the cattle go down on the market, guess what? Our farm supplies are still high. Parts for the tractors are still high. They're not coming down. So, President Trump, we are asking you, as farmers of America, not to do this, not to import more beef from Argentina. There's got to be something that you can do to do an incentive for the farmers of America.
Yeah. Man. So true. She's speaking so much truth there. She's being honest. She's just talking about how difficult it is as a farmer and how we need to look to America first for the source of products. And you can see there she's talking about how the price might be driven down because of the importing of beef, which will help American families who are shopping at the grocery store, but not a long-term help for the American people. Because if you hurt the farmers, then they're going to have to drive their prices up eventually, and the prices will go back up because they need to still pay to fix their tractors, as she mentioned. They need to buy feed. And all these things that it takes to run a beef farm, it still costs money. There's a Missouri congressman actually who is bringing great light to this, and I'm really appreciative of what he's doing, going around talking to Missouri farmers. And so let's check this out.
I want to ask you the confidence. I had the hope for change that we needed. So I want to ask you, what were you saying about the beef? What is the issue right now with local producers like your family? My family is part of they're in the production chain, and I'm in the retail side of it. So I have knowledge of both sides. So the problem is in the middle. It's the packing houses. It's the big 4, big 5 packing houses. They tend to manipulate the pricing by shortening their kill days. So rather than killing 5 days a week, having a 5-day-a-week slaughter schedule, they'll reduce it down to 3 days, and the price of beef, price of meat will go up because supply and demand has been affected.
And that's hurting everyday Americans.
Absolutely. And small businesses like myself, because our profit margins are already slim in food service. You start cutting into that where briskets are well over $5 a pound. You lose over half in shrinkage when you cook. It's tough. It's tough.
Okay. That's good. That's all I need.
Wow. As you can see there, poor woman just trying to make a living. And she explains perfectly why this is hurting the American people. Because they are controlling, they have a monopoly on the industry. And so they can control the pricing. And that's one of the reasons why we need to expose this industry and help President Trump bring light to it so that we can help the American farmers, the American people, and not feel like we need to import foreign products, foreign beef, these types of things. We really just need to focus on American products and putting America first. These policies are harmful. Well, we all know that underneath politics is culture, and underneath our culture is our faith. And it's time to be honest about some threats from a certain type of faith. These radical extremist Muslims, the radical extremist Muslim ideologies that are being spewed out there publicly in America. And my goal here is to speak truth, to be respectful, no political hate for Muslims, for the religion of Islam. That is becoming a problem, though, political hate, as we've seen violent gestures and threats aimed at political opponents on both sides, but more coming from the left to the right. We've seen the assassination of the late, great Charlie Kirk. We've seen President Trump being shot. We see senators being targeted, Republican senators. We see American conservative reporters and media personalities being targeted. And that's not my goal here, to create more hate or violence. We can disagree fiercely with each other and still have diplomacy and still be diplomatic. But we must never dehumanize each other. We can't do that. Our rights come from God, not from the government, and we need to defend them by standing firm in the truth. These Muslim extremists, though, they are trying to take over our country. It insults me as an American citizen to see ISIS flags Hamas flags and Hezbollah flags flown in the American. We see, and it shouldn't just concern me, it should concern you as an American citizen, because whether you're conservative or a liberal, they want to see the death of America. They chant death to America. As we can see here, Jesse Waters from Fox News shows us this clip from Michigan, Dearborn, Michigan. Let's check this out. Unreal.
Not a great look. The mayor condemned it. The White House condemned it. But what about Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib? She reps Dearborn. Is she okay with her constituents chanting death to America? Fox Business correspondent Hillary Vaughn asked her. Watch.
Congresswoman Tlaib. Fox News. I don't talk to Fox News. At a rally in your district, people were chanting death to America. Do you condemn? Talk to Fox News. Do you condemn chants of death to America? I don't talk to people that use racist tropes. Why can't you just say whether or not you condemn people chanting death
She
to
can't
America?
say
Why are you afraid to talk to Fox?
condemns.
Is not listen, using racist tropes towards my community is what Fox News is about, and I don't talk to Fox News. Is death to America racist? Fox News. Is chanting death to America racist? I'm talking about your guys' racist tropes. You know, you guys know exactly what you do. I know you're Islamophobic, but you guys got to go deal with it on your own self. You're not going to use me.
Wow. She says we're Islamophobic for exposing her constituents chanting death to America. That is unreal to me. She's an American congresswoman. She does not represent an Islamic nation. This is not an Islamic nation. We do not govern ourselves under Sharia law, and so this has no place in America. This has no place in my America, in your America. And I hope that you're with me on this, not in a hate all Muslims kind of way, but we must stand against extremism. And I know that there's Muslims themselves that stand against extremism, but we as the American people need to band with those fellow Muslims who stand against extremism, and we who are not Muslims need to stand against extremism and stand up and say, we're not going to take this, Rashida Tlaib. We're not going to take this extremism in our country. America is the greatest country in the world, and you should be proud to live here. And if you don't, you can leave. Well, we're going to go to our last commercial break, and we'll wrap things up. We'll be right back. Things are heating up in America, and you know what else is heating up? My taste buds. Thanks to Fuegos Amigos salsa. This isn't your average jar of tomatoes and regret. Fuegos Amigos brings the real heat with bold, fire-roasted, flavor-fresh ingredients and just the right kick to make every bite unforgettable, especially the mango habanero flavor. Whether you're dipping, topping, or straight up spooning it out of the jar, no judgment, I've done it. There's a level of fuego for everyone, from mild but mighty to text your ex hot. So go ahead, turn up the heat, grab a jar or 3 of Fuegos Amigos salsa and taste the fire that America is talking about. Made right here in the good old US of A. Available now at fuegosamigos.com. Or you can pick up a jar here locally in St. Clair, Missouri at PB&J's Antique Store. Fuegos Amigos salsa. Feel the heat, love the flavor. All right, thank you for staying tuned to Straight Talk with Isaiah Ascher. I am your host, Isaiah Ascher. Let's jump back into the world of chaos that is ensuing around us right now. We are going to jump into a kind of freestyle session here where we talk about a couple big stories that I wanted to highlight. One being the East Wing renovations that President Trump is doing right now, that is funded by private donors. He's raised over $350 million for this project, for a private funded project. And I just want to say, I don't have this video pulled up, but I saw a video earlier this week that kind of appalled me. I don't know a better word, but it was outrageous to watch because it was Elizabeth Warren and another congresswoman, two liberal lunatics, watching the video of the ballroom demos so that they can renovate it. And they were insinuating, they never said it specifically, so I like to get the facts straight. They never specifically said it, but if you watch the video, they're insinuating that President Trump, is using taxpayer dollars for this project. Not $1 of taxpayer money is going to go to building this project. Yes, there will be maintenance and there will be staff that's just like there was before. It's nothing new. But they're insinuating that taxpayer dollars are trying to be used to build this ballroom when that is 100% false. They're trying to lead you astray. They're trying to change the narrative that President Trump is helping the American people by building this beautiful ballroom. Right now, they have to set up tents to host these state dinners because there's not enough room. Every president will benefit from this renovation, not just President Trump, unlike President Obama, who built a basketball court. I think he spent like $250 million on that basketball court. You can fact check me if I'm wrong. I don't have the stats pulled up in front of me, and so I'm happy to say if I'm wrong, and I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. I just think that off the top of my head. I believe he spent $200 million on a basketball court. A basketball court. Why would you build a basketball court in the White House unless it's just it's for yourself? I don't see every president using the basketball court. Not every president plays basketball. But every president will use this ballroom to host dinners. That's the difference between President Trump and other presidents. And actually, his son, Donald Trump Jr., was on Fox News talking about this, about the left-wing liberals' meltdowns. So let's take a look at this. Eric Darty posted about this, saying Donald Trump Jr. on the 47's ballroom. The greatest irony was Hillary Clinton talking about it being in the people's house, is that Clinton and her husband had to return furniture and silverware that they stole. They stole it from the White House. People caught them stealing. She's the one leading the charge, complaining about this problem. It's absolutely nuts. And if you looked at her post earlier this week, she turned off the comments on X. Thought that was hilarious. Let's take a look at what Donald Trump Jr. has to say.
The Democrats freaking out about it is absolutely insane. I think the greatest irony that I saw in all of this was Hillary Clinton talking about it being the people's house. Hillary Clinton, who with her husband literally had to return furniture and silverware that they stole from the White House. That was actually the property of the people. They took it with them after their term. They had to return it because people caught them stealing the furniture.
Ironic.
You know, she's the one that's leading the charge, complaining about this thing. It's absolutely nuts. This is for the betterment of the property. It costs the American taxpayer nothing, and it's going to add value, not just to my father's presidency, but to every president after him, because it's going to take some time to build. The reality is every president after him will get much more use and much more benefit from this incredible addition to the White House. The Democrats freaking out about it is absolutely insane.
That
I think the greatest
is
irony that I
so
the
true.
Democrats freaking out.
DJ Jr. Couldn't agree more. Lots of benefits coming. Cost the taxpayers nothing, and will add value for every president, like I was saying. Ironic that he mentioned that because I didn't even know that he said that in the clip. But I think it shows just the truth that's here. This is a ballroom that will benefit everyone, every president. It's not just something that's going to benefit President Trump. Let's get rid of these ridiculous ideas. Well, something else I wanted to touch on is the NBA scandal. Wanted to check out what FBI Director Kash Patel has to say here. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to play that yet. But let's jump on over here to X. See what he has to say.
The men and women up today, we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure.
Go ahead and move on, but I wanted to at least highlight that. Don't want to make you watch the entire clip there, but you saw what Director Patel was saying, and I think you get the idea is that this is a years-long operation spanning years with the mafia families and the NBA players perpetrating a ridiculous crime. The NBA was caught in a massive money laundering, gambling, and extortion ring. This is not just players, it's coaches. This is the New York crime families, by the way, and La Casa Nostra. So 30 arrests across 11 states so far. The case is ongoing with more arrests to be coming in the future, and more arrests have already happened since this video has been released. Thought that was very interesting to see something that we've all had conspiracy theories about, right? Is that the fixing of games in the NBA, and now we have true proof. I want to wrap the show up with something that's near and dear to my heart as a Christian, as a follower of Christ. Something that is not getting enough media attention is the slaughter of Christians from Islamic extremists like we were mentioning earlier, but in the nation of Nigeria. This is why extreme Islam has no place in America, because if we don't nip it in the bud now, this is the kind of stuff that can happen in America. Let's jump over here to X, to a post that I had created earlier this week with a video interviewing a survivor in Nigeria. Check this out.
Missionary, and I live in Roof. Roof is close to Bwai, and the surrounding villages around. They are within my district. And actually what happened is that there was a serious attack from the Fulani, let me put it that way, who came in the night and stormed the village called Kubat, where over 30 people, men and women, young and children, were killed. And as of yesterday, around Murisht, Juak, and other villages around, yesterday there was a serious attack, even on our way going there to see all that was happening. In fact, we were trying to reach to Kubat, where they killed 30 people.
Breaks my heart. These are heartbreaking words from this survivor in Nigeria. He said, our entire village went up in flames, homes torched, food stores destroyed. And today we laid 30 souls to rest. That's 30 Christians, 30 fellow believers, brothers and sisters in Christ, women and children who were murdered for just believing that Jesus is Lord, for not following the false religion of Islam. I believe in freedom of religion, don't get me wrong, but I also know that the way and the truth and life is only through Jesus Christ. He said he's the way, the truth, and life, and no one comes to the Father except through him. And Lord, I pray right now for these Nigerian Christians who are being persecuted. We lift them up, Lord, that you would surround them with your peace, that you would drive back these extremist Muslims with your army of angels. Supernaturally, that you'd surround these believers with fiery swords, just like you protect the Garden of Eden. Protect these Christians in Nigeria, Lord. Pray for the peace for their families, that you just, your peace that surpasses all understanding would just comfort them and surround them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, that was something that's near and dear to my heart as a believer. And so as we wrap up, just today was a reminder for me, for you, hopefully, that law and order protects the innocent. Just like these Christians, the government should serve that the American people first, America first. And when leaders fail, when politicians fail, communities like mine here in small town Missouri, they lead by helping those. I believe that America's best days are still ahead of us. They are not behind us. We are in the golden age of America. We have a true awakening happening around the country. I've been awakened. Others have been awakened. Let's stand up and fight for freedom. And if this episode spoke to you, please subscribe, share it, like, turn on notifications, leave a comment. It's not just my voice that helps. It's your voice that helps this movement grow. We have some great guests coming in the future and soon, so stay tuned. Click those notifications so they stay turned on, like I said. And next week, we're going to talk about how conservatives win in 2026 and beyond, because the future isn't something that we just wait for. It's something that we build together. We can make America great. We can put America first. Truth doesn't need a filter, just needs a voice. I'm Isaiah Ascher. This is Straight Talk with Isaiah Ascher. God bless you, and God bless America.
Donald Trump is your president, and if you like it or not, keep the energy you had with Barack. Cause you know this Trump train don't stop. Tell Beto to please come try to take my block.